The Detroit Red Wings just edged the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2 in the Motor City in the first preseason game of the year. Lots of things to take away from this game for the Chicago Blackhawks. Some good, some negative. But let's jump right into it. And I'm going to start with the meat and potatoes. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's talk about him. 98, Connor Bedard. The league's not ready. The league's not ready for this kid. I saw a Connor Bedard that was bigger, faster, stronger than the Connor Bedard I've seen in the previous two seasons. He was assertive with the puck. He demanded the puck in the offensive zone, which we haven't seen much of. And those things are all positive. It's what we've been looking for from Connor Bedard. So I want to get that out of the way early. Connor Bedard looked absolutely phenomenal tonight. There were so many passes that he made. I mean, he's playing with Lucas Reichel and Colton Dach, who I'm done with Lucas Reichel. Can I say I'm done with Lucas Reichel? They should have traded him this summer, and they didn't. And now he's gonna probably not play much, and then they're gonna move him for peanuts. They should have traded Lucas Reichel. Regardless, Bedard had a super strong first period. I mean, everything that kid touched turned to gold. It was like amazing chance after amazing chance, creating so much, forcing turnovers in the offensive zone. It looked like he was actually putting effort into the forecheck, which is really good to see. And yeah, man, I easily gained a half step in the stride. I'd say that's an understatement. He looks significantly faster, and that should be extremely exciting for every single Chicago Blackhawks fan. Connor Bedard is going to have his breakout season. Point per game? Point per game for me is like, that's what I'm expecting. Vegas has his line set at 70.5 points for the whole season. That's, for me, it's point per game. Is I want to see Connor Bedard on a point per game pace this year. I think tonight showed that he's very capable of that. And I know it's the first preseason game, and you might say that's a little extreme, bro. Chill out. No, man. Put Ryan Donato and Burakovsky on his line, or Ryan Donato and Tyler Bertuzzi, and don't tell me that's not a point per game player. He was clearly the best player on the ice, which is what we wanted. Very good from Connor Bedard. I know I also have Artem Levshunov in the thumbnail of this video, and why did we not take Demidov, man? No, I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say that. But what the fuck what were we thinking? We could have taken Ivan Demidov. No, Artem Levshunov. This is the thing with Artem Levshunov. This was like the perfect Artem Levshunov game where he has a couple glimmers. There's a couple moments. There's a couple plays he makes that it's like, oh my gosh, like this kid might have it. Like this kid could be a real talent. And then he just does the dumbest shit, like positionally. There was a play, I think it was in the second period. They were on the power play. He was on the point of the second power play unit, and Detroit's about to get it out of the zone, and he pinches for some reason and just gets burned, and it leads to an odd man. He was the last guy back, and it led to a breakaway for Detroit when the Blackhawks were on the power play. He took a really dumb penalty too, where he tried to get like on the offensive side of a guy that was trying to get the puck out of their zone, nowhere near Artem Levshunov's own net, right? Taking a defenseman taking penalties in the offensive zone is, never what you want to see. But he did. And so it's just like a few plays like that and like getting completely out of his position. And you kind of just sit there and scratch your head and think like, what is this guy doing? But then he makes plays like, I think it was in the first period, he made just a beautiful, beautiful outlet pass to Colton Dach that should have sent him on a breakaway. But then Colton Dach had cement hands. Colton Dach had cement hands tonight. Colton Dach did not impress me tonight. But Colton Dach's cement hands, it just ricochets like off his skate and his stick. And then he takes a slashing penalty, and then the Red Wings score on the ensuing power play. So it goes from bad to worse for the Blackhawks. So, Levshunov makes that great pass, and then instead of having a breakaway, you take a penalty and then get scored on the penalty kill. So a big swing there. Need Colton Dach to be better in that situation. And then on the Kaiser goal, That was also an amazing play from Artem Levshunov. He carries the puck all the way down the ice from his own zone, muscling a guy off of him, showing that speed, showing that poise, makes a nice little drop pass to Thompson, who was very patient, waited for the trailer, found Kaiser, and Kaiser absolutely ripped it. Aren't you guys happy we extended him like I was crying for on this channel? I am. I'm happy we extended Wyatt Kaiser. Kaiser had a pretty good game. But yeah, Levshunov, to wrap the thoughts, it's like there's really good moments and then really bad moments, and as he continues to develop, we just gotta hope and pray that those really bad moments happen significantly less than the good ones. Pretty simple, I'm not really saying anything groundbreaking with that statement. Who else? Arvid Soderblom was absolutely phenomenal, sharp as a knife, which honestly, first preseason game, you're expecting there to be cobwebs for a goaltender. Not Arvid Soderblom. He was absolutely fantastic. He made 40 of 43 saves. He faced 43 shots, dude. Dude, this is going to be the story all season long. These goaltenders for the Blackhawks are going to have their work cut out for them because this young defense core is going to concede a lot of shots. And I think, honestly, a lot of the pressure, the sustained zone time tonight for the Red Wings came in the second and third period. And I thought a lot of that had to do more with the forwards not being able to win possession back and get the puck out of the zone. But don't get me wrong, the young Blackhawk defensemen definitely struggled alleviating pressure in their own zone and getting the puck out of the zone without taking an icing. And so that's stuff that they're going to have to work on as the year goes on. And I have all the faith in the world that Jeff Blashill's, the right kind of coach to teach a young defenseman how to get the puck out of their own zone. So it's something you got to keep an eye on throughout the season. I thought Frank Nazar tonight was not super noticeable, to be honest with you. Him and Moore had moments, and I really want to see them keep rolling those two together, just because they have so much speed. They had a couple opportunities, one in the second and one in the third. They had a 2-on-1 where Oliver Moore was the trigger man. He should have just ripped it, but he tried to make a nice little nifty move and get the pass over to Nazar, and it didn't work. Those guys just need to be a little more direct. It's like you got all the speed in the world. This isn't juniors. This isn't the NCAA. Actually, they both played in the – this isn't the NCAA anymore. You're not going to be able to keep making these cute little plays around the net. You got to shoot the puck. Even if you're on a 2-on-1, just fucking clap it into the pad so that there's a juicy rebound for the guy you're on the 2-on-1 with. A little too cute at times, but it's okay. It's the first preseason game. You're trying to impress. I'm not tweaking about it. I'm not really trying to get into, they're not playing the right way. This isn't NHL. It's preseason. They're all 21 years old. Relax, grow up. But still, just got to point some of those things out. Some other guys here. Ryan Green, I thought, had a very sloppy game. Felt like he could not control the puck. It was bouncing all over him, not connecting passes. Not the strongest game from him. Toninato and Lafferty, I was watching this game, and I literally started thinking to myself, I'm going to have to watch these guys play hockey way more than I want to this year. Even if they get dealt by the deadline or, they're trade bait or, Kyle Davidson's just trying to flip them for a couple more assets. I don't care. I know that I do not care to watch them play hockey, but I'm going to be forced to. And that's what you get from the Chicago Blackhawks in 2025. You get force-fed Jason Dickinson and Sam Lafferty hockey, and you're going to fucking enjoy it. So not super pumped on that. I think I could go without, but beggars can't be choosers. Sam Rinzel, he was none of the defensemen were that great tonight. Can I be honest with you? Even Wyatt Kaiser had some of his moments where just not the best, except I will say Wyatt Kaiser was the one defenseman that I felt like was consistently winning the puck back in his own zone, just crafty in those dirty areas in the corners, more crafty than any of these other defensemen, that's for sure, when it comes to winning possession back. I don't know. I just don't know how I felt about some of the pairings. Like that Crevier-Korchinski pairing, I don't think is it. I think they're two polar opposite players, and sometimes that works for defensemen. You got the yin and the yang, maybe the more stay-at-home guy and the more offensive guy. It just didn't work. They couldn't get the puck back. It was so many of the times that Detroit had the Blackhawks hemmed in their own zone. Those two were the defensemen on the ice, and I think Crevier's just like not fast enough to win the puck back in a lot of these situations, and then Korchinski's just not physical enough, not engaged enough defensively to do that. And I think Blackhawks fans know after watching Korchinski, that's not really his bread and butter. But unfortunately, at the NHL level, if you're going to play defense, you have to defend, unfortunately. But not a terrible game from any of those guys. Just struggled to get the puck out of their own zone, struggled to maintain possession, struggled with breakout passes. And it's fine. It's the first preseason game of the year. There's going to be growing pains. We're going to see this probably a lot this season, and that's okay. What else? What else did I like? This is tough because I feel like I'm just doing negative Nancy talk, and I don't want to be negative Nancy talk. But one more kind of negative thing I'm going to talk about was the penalty kill. The penalty kill. They were talking about it on the broadcast a lot, how this is going to be kind of, and Blashill had been talking about it in interviews and stuff, how this is going to be a different penalty kill system to try to utilize the Blackhawks fast skating, because we have got a ton of fast skaters, especially in the forward group. And so the idea is that it's going to be a more aggressive penalty kill than last year. Really trying to overload guys in certain areas and try to win the puck back in break up passes. And it didn't work tonight. And I was kind of confused and concerned watching the penalty kill tonight. Okay, so Detroit did only go 1 for 5 on the power play. But I just think that penalty kill system is going to get absolutely ripped apart by any power play that's slightly good at passing. The weak side defenseman was going, and this is how they got burned on the first goal. Del Mastro was completely, what I thought was completely out of position, but it turns out that might just be the system, and that's where he's supposed to play. If you guys can go back and watch that first Detroit goal on the power play, Ethan Del Mastro is up like past the hash marks. He's like out in front of the face-off circle, and there's just a guy all alone net front, and it's just Renzel back there. And so it's like, whoa, why are there 3 guys up high and just 1 down low? It seems like it's not going to be something that's going to work. And I know it might look good when you've got guys like Oliver Moore out there and Frank Nazar out there and even guys like Ilya Mikheyev and then defensemen like Sam Renzel. For guys that can skate, it might be an effective penalty kill system, but what happens when you've got the Ethan Del Mastros out there, when you've got the Creviers out there, when you've got the Vlasics out there, when you've got the Nick Folignos out there, when you've got these guys that don't have blistering speed? I don't know if that aggressive penalty kill system is going to be effective at the NHL. I don't think this is going to be effective during the regular season, to be honest with you. I think it's going to get absolutely ripped apart. So I'm hoping that they're not completely married to this new penalty kill system. Because what happens when you play Tampa? You're going to have a defenseman trying to play that high up on Nikita Kucherov? He's going to fucking cook you every single time. Like, you can't play that aggressive against some of these teams. Like, you're not going to be able to do that against the Dallas or the Avs or the Winnipeg power plays. Like, they all have amazing power plays. You're not going to be able to do that kind of aggressive penalty kill style against those teams because their forwards out there on their first power play units are stars. They're too good. They're too talented, and they will make the pass to find the open look every single time. So a little concerned about the penalty kill. Other than that, 1 for 3 on the power play. It was a sweet power play goal for Connor Bedard. Him and Rinzel kind of just going back and forth, low to high, until Bedard said enough's enough. I like this look here. I'm going to rip it one time and not think about it. And he scored. That was an awesome goal. Who else? I need to show some love before I wrap this. Oliver Moore, I think I really want this guy to make the team out of camp. I really want him to be on the opening night roster. I could see them sending him to Rockford to start the season, but he's so fast. He's so technical. His hands are so nice. I just want to watch him. It's selfish. It might be best for him to go to Rockford, but selfishly, I want to see Oliver Moore play 82 games this year because I think he's such an exciting young player. He had, I know I already talked about him a little bit, but he had his moments with Nazar. I want to see them continue to play together, grow that chemistry. They're both lightning quick. Just give them more time together, give them more reps together, and then maybe mix up the D pairings. I think you mix up the D pairings a little bit. Apparently, they've been playing Rinzel and Del Mastro a lot during this camp, and I just think you go to Rinzel Vlasic. I don't know why they're trying to get cute with that. I think the Rinzel Vlasic pairing looked really solid to end the season last year. I think you go back to that. I think Del Mastro should be a third pairing guy. Maybe you pair him with a Louis Crevier or a Connor Murphy on the third pair. I think Kaiser and Levshunov is the correct second pairing. They just, need more time together, and Levshunov just needs to stop turning the puck over so much. But I have faith. There were a lot of positive glimpses tonight. A lot of positives, a few negatives, but I'm so excited for hockey to be back. This is, it was so fun to watch tonight, even though it was a meaningless preseason game. I was pumped when Bedard scored. I fucking shouted after that Wyatt Kaiser goal. That's my guy, Wyatt Kaiser. So I was pumped for that one. So happy that hockey's back. Blackhawks hockey is back. It's going to be a fun year. Please make sure you subscribe and like this video if you want me to succeed in life. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.